Hello, I'm Randy Rosenblum,
And I'm Tarek Patel.
and this is SoCal Prep Report. This is the first time an Orange County team has not won the Open Division title. This was a tremendous breakthrough for the Lions. We're going to have the coach on for the Lions, Jack Kocur, and the fabulous one, Mia Fabulous Fabros. They're going to come on in a moment. What a great story that is, and especially the way they did it.
Looking forward to it. I've known Jack Kocur the 10 years I've been covering high school sports. I know he runs a top A-class program on the boys and the girls. I think the Open Division title is a big time achievement, so looking forward to chatting with him.
All right, let's bring him in. First, Jack Kocur, and of course, Mia Fabulous Fabros, and I won't beat that drum any longer. Coach, how big an achievement is this? How big a breakthrough is it for your school to win the Open title?
It is definitely one of the greatest honors I've ever had in all of my coaching career. You know, that's from even being at the Olympics this past summer, getting a bronze medal. So it definitely matches up to that.
Mia, talk about the journey. I like to ask players at what point, you might have had a goal to win a CAF title, a league title. You always have goals at the beginning of the year. But what point in the year or maybe a victory did you feel like, wait a minute, this Lions team can win the Open Division title?
Yeah, this season was definitely had its up and downs. There were a lot of waves. I think it started to hit me when we had our second or third game of CIFs and we played Modern Day, and they were seeded number 1, and we went into overtime with them and we won 12-11 against them. I think we were down by 4 going into the fourth quarter, and we slowly started to come back. And when we started to come back, that's when I thought wow, we can push this team through. We can actually win this. And then the last 2 seconds of the game, our goalie got a block, and then we won. And then that's when it really started. It just hit us that, wow, we actually made it. All our hard work put together. We're going to the finals.
Jack, have you ever been around a match where a team was down by 4 goals, and we're talking about specifically your semifinal match against Modern Day, with just over 2 minutes left, and have a team rally back and win from that kind of deficit?
No, not at all. I've always seen teams kind of come within 1 and put the little pressure on, but never to actually secure the overtime. And then not only in the overtime, there was a different feel when the girls came back over when we took it into overtime. It was like, all right, ladies, hey, if there's any kind of best polo you ever have in your whole entire life, these next 6 minutes, these two quarters of 3 minutes, it must be perfect. And they executed not only on defense but offense. It was perfect. It was a dream come true for me to watch and be part of, and just to see these young ladies really execute.
Mia, when you beat Modern Day and there's bedlam, right? You're just so happy. But then it's like, wait a minute, we got to focus up for the final. We can't just be happy to be here now that we've taken down big, bad Modern Day. How did you refocus the team as a leader? Was there anything said or maybe a routine? How did you guys refocus for that final and obviously eventually win it?
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously we were stoked right after the game to have beat the number 1 seed, and we were not expecting to beat them, but knowing that we won, on the drive home, I was talking with Coach Kocur, and we were just starting to plan out the next game, what's next, and we had 4 days to prepare for the final. And in those 4 days, we had double days. We did film every day. Kocur made us do presentations, made us do our own scouting report. We did video. We were very consistent, and we all had one same goal to go to the finals and beat them, and we had a lot of preparation leading up to the game.
Well, Jack, you got your team a victory in the final 7-5, and to me the most impressive point of that championship match against Newport Harbor as you limited them to 5 goals, because they're a very good offensive water polo team. Defenses win championships in every sport. So obviously your defense prevailed in that match. What did you do to stymie the Sailors?
I think first and foremost, it starts with a solid goalie and goalie training. We had two goalies in our team that really pushed the level of competition in the cage. It made each one of them better. So it starts there. Once you have that, then you can go out into the field of play with your center defenders and then your perimeter players. I was super excited to see how well they executed the strategy that we've been working on. We played Newport 3 times in the season, and we knew their strengths. We knew some of the things that we can take advantage of, and then also push the percentages of them shooting outside versus taking their chances inside the crease, which is right in the mouth of the cage. So the girls did a phenomenal job. Again, like you said, taking Newport modern day, keeping them in a very competitive games with defense. If you look back at that fourth quarter, third quarter, we shut down modern day over 9 minutes. Took them out of the cage, took them out of the opportunity. And then in the Newport game, leading them into 5 goals to a team that has been there notoriously time and time again on the boys' side and girls' side, it's a phenomenal achievement from our girls.
Mia, I know that being a senior, you tend to want to reflect back on what's going on. Or you're a junior, excuse me.
He's a junior.
Just corrected me. Yeah, only a junior.
Yeah.
So actually, I got a better question
Give
for you.
me one more year, man. Don't
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So now it's like, hey, wait a minute. You've accomplished this amazing feat. Now, you've had some time to really kind of digest it. And you'll digest it more as the summer goes on. But coming back as a senior with all this experience, talk about what that might be like next year.
Yeah, I think before I even came to high school, it was one of my dreams to win CIF, and we did it. It's marked off my bucket list now, and I think for next year, we've made our stance in high school water polo. We're no longer the underdogs of girls water polo. We won, so everyone knows our name, and for next year, I'm just really hoping to keep our same position right now, and we're going to have the same competition against Newport and modern day, and yeah, it's going to be really fun.
So to piggyback off that, I got a question for Jack. So you guys were hunting. I love asking this question. Randy's like, God, I've heard this a million times. You guys have been hunting all year long. Well, next year you're going to be the hunted, and that's a different ball game right there. You're like everyone's Super Bowl, right? So as a coach, I know you got a long ways to go till next season, but when you're the hunted, how different is that to fend off big games against opponents?
We can sneak up on them, and I think that's what kind of gave us a little bit of the edge in the Sentinels of playing modern day, playing Olu. We kind of snuck up on both of them, and we got to the finals. And we're not going to have that opportunity again. And how do you overcome that in the future? Now people are coming after us. Is you got to be disciplined every day. We got to do the hard work. We got to be every day. We got to be willing to do what is hard in the water and challenge ourselves mentally and physically and spiritually. And that starts on Monday. Season starts on Monday for next week, or next year. So we're very excited about that, and we're up to any challenge that comes at us.
Mia, thanks for staying up late. People are here saying, Randy, it's not that late. It's just after 9 o'clock. But it's after midnight where you are. You're on a recruiting visit at Princeton in New Jersey. So is that a potential stop for you after high school? Is that going to be your next destination?
It could be. It's definitely a beautiful school. I think there's so many schools out here that have good water polo in D1. I'm still looking for my home for the next 4 years, and I'm excited to see where my feet will land.
Well, it looks like you got your feet pretty comfortable right now on that couch. Coach, I know that that's your niece. So how proud are you to have a family member be a star for you and win a championship with her?
Well, I'd definitely say she has one up on my own son because we've been trying for the last 4 years to win one with him. And it was, if it's not my son, it can't be any better to have my niece part of it. And I've been a part of her journey since she was 10 years old. Her family's been a diehard water polo family, and giving her every opportunity to be part of this. It's a dream of mine to always be in the water and jump in for the last day and get a little splash with your family member.
Coach, I know you're part of the U.S. national team and the coaching fraternity there. Hope to see you in 28 at the Olympics. And by the way, take your niece with you. She'd be a good member of the
I will
Olympic
be there.
team. All right, Coach.
We'll be there, and hopefully she'll be there too.
All right,
Thanks for having me.
congratulations to both of you. Mia, get some sleep. Coach, start working on next year, and we'll talk to you down the road. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
That was a fun interview.
Jack Coker's, man, like one of Jack Coker might be the most debonair high school coach in any sport in my tenure. I mean, the guy is just all class. So no surprise that he runs a good program and that they win. I mean, it's just what he does.
To me, he looks like an actor. I asked him before the show, have you done any movies? I actually did that. All right, so congratulations to that great story at Oaks Christian winning the Open Division Girls Water Polo Championship in the CIF Southern section. All right, it's time to talk basketball. We do a lot of that this time of year. We're going to start with girls basketball in the Southern section. Semifinals have been played. Etiwanda, who's been a two-time champion, played Mater Dei. This was a game that had 3 All-Americans on the court.
Yep, I went to that game on a Saturday night. I thought, man, what's the best game in town? And Ontario Christian Sierra Canyon was the other one, and I'm sure we'll talk about that here in a second. But I thought, how often do you get to go to anything and see 3 McDonald's All-Americans on one court? Not often. So, yeah, Addison Deal, who's going to Iowa for Mater Dei, played fantastic. And then you've got Grace Knox and Puff Morris for Etiwanda. Ended up being a really tight game, but the Eagles ended up winning, and they'll be in the final for the 4th straight time.
And they're going to have to play a very good Ontario Christian team who beat them earlier in the year at a tournament at Harvard Westlake. Ontario Christian got by Sierra Canyon, another girls' power, 62-52. Kalina Smith, one of the great stars in CIF Southern Section basketball, another solid outing, 20-plus, leading OC to victory.
Yeah, love this. You know, this is going to be, to me, this has been a collision course all year long, and they've proven that by now reaching this final. Again, Etiwanda in its 4th open final in a row. Ontario Christian, kind of the new kid on the block. Their best players, Kalina Smith, sophomore. Sydney Douglas, freshman. Tatiana Griffin, freshman. Their best players are freshmen and sophomores. So for me, Randy, I'm leaning the Eagles and Etiwanda and the crazy mind of Stan DeLuce to use experience and toughness to win that final. Either way, it'll be a great game.
Yeah, and it was tight the first time they played. And again, the number 1 seed won the game. That's Ontario Christian. Always tough to beat a team a second time, especially coached by Stan DeLuce, who we've talked about for the last few years. He's been the top coach in Southern California for a few years now. He's just tremendous. All right, in the Division I girls game, that should be a good one. Brentwood and Rancho Christian. You might have mapped these teams out more than I have not seen these squads play.
I've seen Brentwood play. Charles Solomon is their coach, been around a long time, good coach, good guy. Rancho Christian, you know, really all I know about them is, hey, they knocked off Harvard Westlake, and Harvard Westlake was a really good Michigan League team, and they beat Harvard Westlake, in the semifinal, and you know that's a really, really good Harvard Westlake team. So Rancho Christian clearly has some players. So that'll be a good matchup. I think maybe some different styles. I think Rancho Christian likes to get up and down a little more. Brentwood maybe like set up a play, maybe a little slower half-court pace. So contrasting styles, we'll see what wins out.
Yeah, I saw Harvard Westlake playing Bella Spencer's a tremendous player. So for Rancho to beat them, that's a nice victory indeed. And the other game I want to talk about, that's D2, Rolling Hills and Rosary. Now, Rosary is a program that in girls basketball has been very strong over the years. Now, their record this year isn't as good. You think of Rolling Hills Prep, you think of boys basketball and Harvey Katani. So I would imagine this should be a pretty good final in the 2A division.
Yeah, Rosary, if I'm not mistaken, has been in the Open a few times
have.
in the last, 3-4 years or what have you. So, yeah, you know, again, I think it's more of a Rolling Hills Prep, to your point, the girls program maybe kind of on the rise, and Rosary, you know, dropping down to reality a little bit. So we'll see what gives when they play.
What gives is boys basketball. This is Tarek's favorite here because we're going to talk some Mission League, really, because these are Mission League teams that have gone all the way, gone the distance. Start with Notre Dame and Harvard Westlake. Harvard Westlake was the favorite in the pool. It came down to this game to get to the CIF Open Final. Harvard Westlake, the number 1 ranked team, had beaten Notre Dame during the year.
Twice.
But the squad, twice. But the squad from Sherman Oaks, with a lot of talent, finally healthy, wins this one.
Yeah, I think it not that it wouldn't matter before, but it mattered more than anything. You know, you don't want to lose to a team 3rd straight time. So Tyron Stokes, a healthy Lino Mark, Zach White, Navarro Bowman, Josiah Nance. I mean, you could argue that Notre Dame is the most talented team in the section, but Tyron Stokes just played a great game, 25 and 10 points, and they knock off Harvard Westlake. And let me tell you, that's the first time Harvard Westlake has lost in California in more than a year and a half or a year and some change. So great runs come to an end eventually, and it came to an end against a talented Notre Dame team.
I'm not sure it's over yet. Harvard Westlake
True.
still has a chance to
True.
win the state championship,
True.
which they've won the last 2 years. But that is a great breakthrough win for Notre Dame. Now they have to take on Roosevelt Eastvale, who provided us with some great entertainment and had to hold off St. John Bosco in their pool to earn the right to get to the championship game. And what strikes me here is Braden Burries, the great star of Roosevelt, had 33 points out of the 58 and continually got to the free throw line.
Yeah, this was a great game. And, you know, talk about talent. St. John Bosco, Christian Collins, one of the top juniors in the country, hitting a three there. Isaac Williamson, and this is the spark plug for this team. Yeah, sure, Braden Burries and Isaac Williamson, but Miles Walker's a 5'9" guard that really is the glue to this Roosevelt team. So talent-wise, it's going to go to Notre Dame in this final, but toughness, experience, grit, I'm giving the edge to the Mustangs. So I do think Roosevelt's going to win this game.
Yeah, they came a little short last year, got to the finals, lost to Harvard Westlake. The fact that they have that experience going back to the championship game might just give them the edge. So I don't totally disagree, but you're right. Notre Dame's got a lot of talent. The game, of course, coming up this weekend should be a really entertaining basketball game. There it is. There's the matchup. There are the records. Roosevelt's the number 2 seed. Notre Dame the number 5 seed. So on paper, Roosevelt maybe, but who knows? Seeds don't really mean anything. Once you get the title, that's what it's all about right now. A couple of these other division games. Los Alamitos and Crean Lutheran are playing. And Los Alamitos won that game.
Semifinal game.
Yeah, that was a semi, 82-57. And Miracosta is the other team and knocked off Santa Barbara, who had the big win earlier in the tournament
against
over Mater Dei. So maybe they didn't leave a lot in their tank. So Miracosta got by them, and then we have Los Alamitos and Miracosta. Who do you like there?
Yeah, I'll lead with saying I like Miracosta. I like Miracosta, but let me give you a couple facts on this game. It's the first time 2 public schools will meet in the Division I final since 2018. We don't generally see, it's usually the private schools that are in this Division I final or a mix. So 2 public schools going at it, first time since 2018. It was Chino Hills and Pasadena. So, and not to mention, not just public schools, but 2 teams that are really neighborhood teams, Randy. The combined, both of these teams, there's only a combined 1 transfer. So you're talking about some real local teams competing.
Love that. I also love the matchup in 2A. Canyon Country gets to the final against St. Bonaventure. And I had a chance to talk to Wolfgang Wood, the coach at St. Bonaventure this week. He's the son of Leon Wood, the former NBA player, now a referee, although he's hobbled this year, had some surgery. So Leon will be back next year refereeing in the NBA. But his son did a heck of a job with St. Bonaventure. And the Bonaventure team has Charlie Adams, a freshman guard, is averaging close to 20 a game.
Yeah, and this is Wolfgang's 3rd straight finals appearance.
It is.
So, look, and let's be really honest, and I think he would even agree with this. Ventura County isn't known for its juggernaut basketball.
Right.
It's just not. So, the talent isn't crazy up there. So, for him to have the system, the culture, the foundation for a really nice program in St. Bonaventure to get to 3 straight finals is remarkable.
Yeah, Canyon Country's physical, so this is going to be a real test for Wood's basketball team. All right, let's turn our attention to the city section semifinals. Open division, the top 2 teams end up advancing. We'll start with Westchester beating Cleveland of Reseda, and they won by double digits. Westchester's Taj Ariza with 20 points, even though he was in foul trouble.
Yeah, Ariza, ultra-talented player, only a junior. You're talking about like a 6'7", 6'8". I mean, look at some of these jump shots. These are not normal jump shot makes in high school. Just really good around the rim, a feathery touch, really good in transition, as you can see here. For as long and as athletic as he is, great control with the ball. And I think this last highlights pretty much just shows you he can make it from anywhere. Heaves one in from deep against the shot clock. So that'll be a really, really fun team to watch in the final.
They'll be playing Chatsworth and Elijah Aretas, their great star. not a shock. They hammered Palisades.
Yeah, this was a no contest. You know, as great as it would have been for Palisades to win because of the story, given all with the fires and everything, they were no match for Chatsworth and Elijah Arenas, who, let's not forget, he's got his All-American and USC commit. We've got some highlights here. And just with ease. I mean, look, just gets up with ease, dunks it. He's long, he's athletic, and he really is a polished jump shooter. You know, he plays the game with a casual nature, Randy, that makes you feel like, is he even playing hard? He doesn't need to. And not to say that he doesn't need to play hard. He doesn't need to show every ounce of every minute of every game that he's going hard. He just lets the game come to him. He's really a tremendous player.
Westchester, Chatsworth should be fun tomorrow night.
Friday night.
At LA Southwest. Interesting time, 8 o'clock. Going to have the city to itself. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some celebrities out there to watch this basketball game. Great city contest, 1 against number 2. That brings us to our point counterpoint segment, and I'm going to read it out to you. Who is the better player, Elijah Arenas of Chatsworth or Taj Ariza from Westchester? You go first. This is a juicy one.
If I had to say who the better player is now, it is Elijah Arenas. He can do more. He can score at all levels. He's a better shooter. Now, Ariza might be the better defender, and I think down the line they are going to be different positions. But if I had to pick one, I'll say Arenas for now.
You just brought up my argument. We're talking defense, and then we mentioned that defense wins championships. First of all, I love Taj. You know the Taj Mahal, you know what it stands for? The Taj Mahal stands for a monument for love. This Taj, you just love his basketball. He does everything well. He's got point guard skills, and he's close to 6'9". He's growing into his body. I love the fact that he plays defense. Arenas is a terrific player. There's really not much to choose from them. They're both going to go on, play high-level college basketball, and probably, like their fathers, make it to the NBA. But right now, I think if I had to pick one of the two, and it's close, Taj stands for love. That's my thought.
Yeah, no, fair take. Fair take.
And that is point counterpoint. I always get confused after we come out of this because I'm pumped up for this. Okay. Basketball semifinals. I think we're looking at Division I in the LA City section. Poly and Granada Hills. Poly's got a kid by the name of Wyatt who's outstanding. He ends up scoring 34 in the victory over a very good Granada Hills team. J.D.
Wyatt. And what makes this fun is the father-son duo. But yeah, Joe Wyatt, I don't know if you remember, Randy, but Joe Wyatt, this is a little highlight of J.D. Wyatt, senior, who ended up scoring 34 points, as you said, and just made jump shots. He had 13 points in the second quarter alone. And Poly will be in the CIF City Final for the first time in 2019. They haven't won a City Final since 1999. Their coach, love it, is Joe Wyatt, the gentleman to the left. So we got a father-son duo in the final against Grant High School, who beat L.A. Jordan that same night, and also has a father-son tandem. I wouldn't call them a duo because the son is only a freshman in Elijah, but really, really fun game, that Division I final.
You know, what made the great win for Poly so sweet is they had lost to Granada in December.
Okay.
So now they get a little revenge here, get into the finals against a Grant team that's well coached. It's going to be a very, very good championship game. All right, girls in the city section, semifinals, number 1, Hamilton over Palisades. This is a team that has a tremendous talent, Hamilton. They have guards, Curl, and Fort. Put together 41 of the 67 points, 2 veteran guards who can score the ball.
Let me tell you something about Hamilton. If you go look at their schedule, they've played some top-end Southern Section teams tight. Don't be surprised. I'm saying it right here on SoCal Prep Report. Don't be surprised if Hamilton gets down to like the Division
Was that an impersonation?
The SoCal Prep Report. Okay. If Hamilton goes down to the Division II playoffs, Randy, don't be surprised if they make the state final.
Wow, that's a big
they played tough with some Southern Section juggernaut. They lost, but like we're talking 8-point loss, 7-point loss. They are very, very capable. They're going to win the city.
Okay,
yeah.
If you say so, but they're playing Westchester again, who they've beaten before. But Westchester's good and knocked off number 2, Birmingham. We always seem to underrate this Westchester program, but when you talk about girls hoops in the LA City section, they're always there.
They've had their shine. I know they've had some decent players recently, and they've won the Open, within, the last 2-3 years or what have you. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know that they've won it. Mariah Blake, if I'm not mistaken, Westchester,
they
right?
finished second last year to Birmingham.
And I want to say the year before they won it.
They did win it.
There
the
you
year
go.
before.
So I know that they're right there. To your point, they're in the mix all the time. But this Hamilton team, man, major talent. I don't think the Comets will have enough.
All right, quickly want to take a look at the baseball top 10 in the southern section. Corona's still number one. Some of these records have changed since we've talked and put this graphic up. They've played some more games, but it's Corona, Huntington Beach, Harvard Westlake, Santa Margarita, Oulu, then the back five, La Mirada, Notre Dame, Vista Murrieta, J. Sarah, Crespi. Tremendous group.
Crespi won the Easton Baseball Tournament this week. They're looking really good for the Mission League. As you can see, Huntington Beach loaded with talent, hasn't even played a game yet. They might have played one yesterday or something, but not a lot of movement from last week, Randy, because some teams just haven't played, or if they have, they've only played one game. So as the spring gets rolling, there'll be some more movement.
I wanted to leave a couple minutes at the end of the program to talk about Gene Hackman. Obviously a phenomenal actor, legendary gentleman who passed away kind of mysteriously. We'll find out more about that in New Mexico, along with his wife and the dog. It was just a crazy deal. But Gene Hackman was one of the great actors in Hollywood history. And he also was in a movie, Hoosiers, which is about a high school basketball team in Indiana in 1954, Milan, that went on to win the state championship, which I think is the best sports movie, not only just because it's a high school team, I think it's the best sports movie ever made.
Yeah, I mean, look, Hoosiers is an all-timer. I don't know if it's one of those movies that I always debate. I don't know if it stands the test of time, but it is a good movie.
No, it's the best of all time.
Yeah, but the best line is, my team is on the floor, right? When he's only got 4 players. I love that. But yeah, Gene Hackman, I think about his role in Behind Enemy Lines with Owen Wilson. I think he's a commanding officer of some sort.
French Connection?
Yeah, he's well, I don't know. Oh, is that a movie?
Yeah, he won the Academy Award.
Okay, that might be before my time. But yeah, I referenced to you before the show started. There's a movie, the comedy with Sigourney Weaver and Jennifer Love Hewitt, and it's called Heartbreakers, and he plays an old rich guy in it, and it's very funny. So Gene Hackman, a lot of great movies, and a star. I mean, really a star in the movie business. So sad news, and very interested to see what transpired if they can find out.
Yeah, Lex Luthor, the Superman movie as well. I do want to go back to Milan, which is that team that won it in '54. They were called Hickory in the movie, but it was Milan. And Milan in '54 won on a buzzer beater, just like the movie. They won 32-30. They were a small school. They won the state championship, and it was one division in Indiana at the time, with only 161 students in the school. They beat Oscar Robertson's team on the way to the state final. Oscar was one of the great players in the history of the NBA, as you probably all know. But I just think about this movie. They beat Muncie Central in the finals, 32-30 on a Bobby Plump basket very late. So it was very similar to the movie, not exactly the same. But to me, that was Gene Hackman at his best. And I know he won a couple Academy Awards in his brilliant career. But it's Hoosiers. It's high school basketball. And it was very special.
Yeah, Gene Hackman's one of the best. Again, sorry to hear the bad news, but had a great life and made some great movies.
Yeah, gone at the age of 95. We should all get there, right? 95 is a great life. I know where you're going to be tomorrow because I'm going to be there with you.
LA City final, and then Saturday I'll be on Toyota Arena for the Boys Division I, Girls Open, and the Boys Open. It's not in that order, but those 3 games.
You know, we talked about Arenas and Ariza. How great is it for the city section? Everyone's kind of been down on them in the last couple of years. This is a real bump. This is a tremendous spectacle tomorrow night.
Well, not only is it the 2 best players are going to face off, but the dads played in the city too. So you got Trevor Ariza, who won, I believe, 4 straight city titles and a state championship at Westchester. And then Arenas, played at Grant. I don't think he won any city titles, but he was a dang good player.
Very good game tomorrow night for the city section. We'll be there. We'll be back next week. What a great show we had tonight.
Yeah,
Hope
it was.
you
Jack
enjoyed.
Coker was great.
Coker's the best, and fabulous Fabros wasn't bad
yeah,
either.
Fabros.
I'm glad she stayed up past midnight to join us on the show. We'll do it again next week.
Looking forward to it.
For Tarek, I'm Randy. This is SoCal Prep Report. Tarek's going to warm up from his bullpen spot, and throw his fastball as we say good night, everybody. Let's see that arm strength. Oh, come on. You can do better than that. You don't think Hoosiers was the best movie
It's
ever
not.
in sports?
It's not. I mean, it's up there because of it's like all.
I cry
it's one
every
of the
time
greats.
at the ending.
But I don't know about. I don't know. I don't know.